Hello everyone, we're today going to go through 7 of the most used Excel formulas to make simple and basic Excel spreadsheets and workbooks for home or office use. So we'll get straight into it here and try to keep the video as short as possible. And the first one is going to be sum and auto sum, which is basically adding up. So here you can see I've got a list of football teams and the potential number of fans they've all got. So the total number of fans here, we're trying to add up, which we can do at the bottom. The total is 535, and there's 2 different ways to do this. So auto sum we'll use first. So to just add a column up, a simple 1-column set of numbers without any spaces or anything in, the easiest way to do this is to go to the top of your Excel spreadsheet and click auto sum. This will then automatically put the equal sum formula in for you. You can press enter and there you go, simple to add up. The manual way of doing this is doing equals sum, then you do your open bracket and you click on the range. So we'd want to add all these up. So we click on the range and we click on the little square in the corner and drag down. And again, you'll have your full range there again to see 11, and you can press enter, and again you can see the 535. So that is how you add up a full column of numbers in Excel. It's one of the most used formulas out there and one of the most simple. So we'll move on to something else now, and this is the sum if formula. So what this one is looking for is the total number within this data set here of Man United fans. So if you look at the data set here, there's 3 sets of Man United fans. So what we want to know without manually working out is what is the total of just the Man United fans. So this is what the sum if works out. And there's a preview of the formula, which I will show you what you need to do in the box just here. So to make this formula, you do equals sum if, you open your bracket, and then you need to select your range again. So the range for this is the range of the text, because we're going to be searching for a team name, remember here. So we want the range of team names. The next one is the criteria, and what the criteria box is where you're going to type in what you're searching for. So for this particular example, we'll use this box here, E14, and we want another comma, and then you select the sum range. So this is the range that wants to be added. So this is the number range. So we select that range and we can close the bracket or enter, press enter, and you'll see here we've just got a 0 because we've not asked it to calculate anything yet. So again, remember we selected E14 as the criteria box. If you select Man United, type Man United, you will get the total. If we choose Chelsea, it will search for just the Chelsea. You can see Chelsea 66, Liverpool 78. So that is a way of having a data set that may be made up of multiple of the same name or data, but they all have different totals, and it's a way of pulling out one word and adding up multiple cells to do with that particular range. So the Man United range has a total of 3 and the total is 199. So if we change, for example, the Liverpool one to Man United as well, we should see the total change again because there's an additional Man United column. So that is sum if, how to add up multiple cells at a time based on a text criteria. Count, there's a few things we can do with the count functionality, and counting functionality is generally counting cells. So this first one here is a very simple formula which is counting the number of cells. So this is not adding up the total amount in those cells. What this is doing is telling you how many cells there are being used. So to do this, you just do equals count, open your bracket again, and again just select your range. So we want the range here of the numbers. You can close your bracket or press enter, and you can see there's 10 because there's 10 cells there. C2, C is 10 cells, so we get the answer of 10 for the count. So we can elaborate on that slightly if you've got broken up data. For example, here, if we use these cells as the range, you can see that they're in different boxes and there's also spaces between them. So what count A will do is count the total amount of cells, but only tell you which ones have data in. So if we do equals count A, open your bracket, and then select your range again. So if we do this range from here, and if we go all the way down to here to include as many blanks as we can, we hit the enter, you'll see there's 6. Because in that data range of these particular cells here, there is 6 cells with data in. So maybe you've got a large spreadsheet where people have put loads of spaces in between every name or every set of data, and you just want to see how many different cells you've got with data in without the spaces. You can see that, and count blank is the opposite. Count blank counts the blanks in that data range. So again, it's equal count blank, open your bracket, select your range again, we'll use the same range, click enter, and you'll see it'll be 5, because in this data range here there's 5 blank cells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can do that to count how many blanks you've got in your data set. Count if is slightly more complex. It's a little bit like the sum if, so it is looking for how many particular parts of this data set have got the word Chelsea in, and it will tell you 1. So if I change this to Man United, we should see it change to 3 or 4, how many I've got on there. So 4. So to do this, again, it's a simple enough formula. Do equals count if. You open your bracket, you select your data range. Again, we're on the text data here because we're looking for the text. And again, you press the comma, and again, the criteria box here is the box where you're going to type what you're searching for. So we'll use this cell here, D18. And if we then close the bracket and enter, if we type Man United, we should see it go to 4. Yeah. Liverpool, it'll go to 1. So using the count if, you can select and look up how many times you've got duplicates, basically. So if you put Man United again, you know that Man United is in this list 4 times. So you could go through and collate them and put them into one cell, or do whatever you want to do with the duplicated data. Average. So average is a very simple one again. All we're doing is finding the average of these, of the total amount here. So what is the average of this, which we know adds up to 535 from the sum if. So again, it's a very simple formula. It's just equals average and the bracket again, and then you just select your range again. Click enter, and it's 53.5. If you were to change one of these, you'll see the average will change. So it's showing you the average of all of those particular figures that you've got there. So I don't know, if you've got people buying a certain product or something, and the price is different. In, say, on eBay, you've got 20 of the same thing for sale on auctions, and some are going for £10, some are going for 20, some are going 15, and everywhere in between, you'd be able to see, based off this, what the average sale price is of that particular product. That's just an example there, but that's a very simple one. Concatenate is where you can move things from 2 cells and put it into 1 cell. So for example here, you can see I've got some names here, first name, second name, and they're in 2 cells. So what this does is pulls both of those cells and puts them into 1 cell. So if I show you how to do that here, you do equals concatenate, and then you can open your bracket and you just select the cell. So the first cell we're going to use is the first name, and then you do comma and click on the second name, and you can enter, and you can see there it will pull it and put it in 1 cell. And you can do the same here, but it's backwards. So concatenate, open bracket, and this time we're going to do second name first. So yeah, and then first name, and then enter, and there you can see it's put second name first, then first name second. So here, I don't know why that one's got a space in it, because this formula that I'm telling it to do there should not be putting a space in it, but I'll show you how to put spaces into things. So as you can see, this one here will allow you to then put a space in the middle or any other text into the middle of it. Then it's equals concatenate, and you open your bracket and you choose the first name, then you do a comma, and then you do your speech mark, and then you can put whatever you want in here. So we'll just put a space, then you close it again with another speech mark, and then you choose the second name and you press enter, and it will have a space in there. You can put anything you want in there. So if we just amend this formula by using the top bar, you could put hello in there, and you should see that it'll say hello in there. So whatever you want in there, you can put a dash, you can put a space, you can put whatever you like between the text or numbers. Say it's potentially you've got a number in this box and it relates to a customer or something, so you could have, for example, 1 2 3 4 5, and you can have Carl here. You could do something like equals concatenate, and you can open your bracket, and you want the account number first, let's say, then you do your comma, you could do a dash and another comma to close it, and the second name, and enter, and then you can see account number dash name. So it's a way of bringing 2 cells into 1 and be able to enter some kind of text or spacing between them, however you want it to look on the master copy of the spreadsheet. And obviously you could then go and hide this particular data and just be left with the names as they are on the spreadsheet, which you could use to search for or whatever. So now we're going to move on to the if functionality. And what the if functionality is going to do is say, out of this list of football teams here, it's going to tell me if this cell here matches a set criteria either in the formula. So if you look at this formula, if you can see it up the top, it's asking, does this cell match Arsenal? And it's obviously saying false and no. So to do this, we do equals if, and open your bracket, and the logical test is a cell. So I'll use the Chelsea box here, for example. So that is B5. So if you use B5 and you want a comma, and then you want true, comma, false. And if you enter, sorry, I've done that one wrong. You've got to put the criterion. So you've got to do if B5 equals, and then open your speech bubbles and Chelsea speech bubble, and enter, and there you can see it's saying that B5 does equal Chelsea. So if we change that to B1, for example, so it's looking for now Man United in that cell, sorry, B2, it should change to false. But if we scroll this down, you will see, because that will pull the formula down into every cell, so you can see now that it is asking if B5 is Chelsea, and if you look into B3, it's saying is B3 Chelsea? No. And this particular one, you can use true or false or any other wording you want to use. So if you do equals if, open bracket, we'll say, we'll go for B4, we'll go for B3, equals speech bubble, speech mark, sorry. I don't know, we'll put Arsenal. And then close it with the speech bubble. Then you want your comma. And then you need to put your own text, and again you need to do the speech bubbles again. So this time we'll just put no. So we'll put yes actually. Close it with the speech, then the comma. And we'll put no. Comma, close the bracket and enter. So now it's saying here, does B3 equal Arsenal? And obviously it doesn't because it's Manchester City. So now we can scroll that down. And if we change it to B2 for the top and scroll it down, there we have it, look. So you'll be able to go down B2. So this is B2 equals Arsenal, yes or no. B2 does not equal Arsenal. This one is B4 equals Arsenal, yes or no. And yes, it does. So it puts the yes in there. So basically, it's a way of going through, again, to kind of, I guess, find duplicates. So if we did the Man United as the option in here instead, Man UTD, press enter, you'll see that it's a yes. And then if we drag the Man United formula down, you'll see that it has yeses where a Man United is. So again, you could filter that to all the yeses, and then you would be able to just see the ones that show Man United. So you could filter it to yes, for example, and it will just show the ones with Man United. So if you had a data set in here, you could then collate them all or add just the Man United ones up using the other formulas we've used, like Sumif or AutoSum. And the final one we're going to look at today is Vlookup, which is a way to look up multiple criteria from a database in one search. So as you can see here, we've got a very small database of names, addresses, telephone numbers, and the potential amount of savings they have. So from here, you can see I've got the Carl Fixes in there, and it shows the data set from there. If I change this to Tony Pierce, it will then change and pull all the data from the cells to do with Tony Pierce. So to set this up, you will need to make 3 formulas or a formula for each data set you want it to pull. So we'll do that over here by pressing equals Vlookup. If I could spell, equals Vlookup, then you open your bracket. And the lookup value that it's asking for first is the cell you want to type your search criteria in. So that will be this cell here on this particular occasion. Press your comma. Then the table array is all of the data. So all of the data that you want to search in the table needs to be included in the table array. So we'll select all of these cells here, and again we press the comma. And then we want to call index number, which is the index number for each column. So as you can see, this particular database doesn't start in A, it starts in B. So column B will be 1, C2, D3, E4, and you don't count column A. So we are looking for the address in this particular line here. So it's column 1, column 2. So we need to put 2 and a comma. And the lookup range here is a true, which is an approximate match, or false for an exact match. So I want it to be an exact match. And we close the bracket off, and you will see that if I put Tony Pierce into here, we should see the address pop up. There you go. And we repeat the formula for each of these cells. So I'll just do them quickly again. So Vlookup, open your bracket, lookup value, again, is the same cell. So the one with the search criteria in, comma, table array, you again select the full table. Column index number, comma, column index number is now the telephone number column. So 1, 2, 3. And again, we want to look up an exact match. So there you go. And finally, the lookup value again is the search box, comma, table array, the full data set highlighted, comma, and this time we're looking at box 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, and again, approximate or exact. Again, I want an exact, so we are going for false. 25,000. So there you go. If we change the name to Sandra Notball, you can see that it's changed and pulled all of the data from that. So as you can imagine, if you had a database full of hundreds or thousands of people's names or data and you wanted to pull addresses, telephone numbers, you know, certain things within the database, it makes it very easy to do one search and pull multiple data sets at once. So yep, that is 7 easy and basic database formulas that you can use in basically any standard easy Excel spreadsheet, and a lot of these will be in the pre-made templates as well that come with Excel. If you need to edit any of them to meet your own criteria, you'll now know how to do it. So if you'll hit the like, favorite and subscribe on this video, it'd be much appreciated, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.